All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Indian Racing League. This is the league with F2 cars on Sundays, and joining me in the comms box is our very own admin of the F2 league, Jin. Jin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You could have also added the fact that I was the inaugural F2 champion, but I'll let that slide.
Well, we
Uh,
still have many more rounds to go, so maybe I'll introduce you that way in one of the later Sundays.
yes. But here we are at the beautiful and historic track of Imola. A very, quite a technical track, very challenging, historic for many reasons. It's named after. Oh, we have already gone on board with the one-shot qualifying.
Yeah, I'm
But
trying to
there's a
find
saying.
Racing Gupta here. Where is he? There you go. He's on the main straight now. And Jin, do you want to take us through the track? We'll talk about the track maybe on the formation lap, but just take us through this
Yes,
lap around this circuit. On board with Racing
yes.
Gupta.
So on board with Racing Gupta, he enters turn 1 and 2. Looks pretty smooth through here. I'm not sure what setup they've gone for, whether they've all copied Nova's 1-1 wing ideology. But right now, Gupta looks pretty good, pretty smooth around all the exits. Azun, meanwhile, has retired from the session, so that's surprising to watch. Not very, but you know, with one-shot qualifying, he still manages to find a way. Um, as we enter next phase of this track, he's heading up to sector 2. Right now it shows him on provisional pole position. He does seem to have the pace with him tonight. The Campos car obviously looking really beautiful. Uh, sector 2 is done as well. He seems to be on the pace. It looks like he made a slight mistake there. The car looked a bit understeery entering that corner, scrubbed off some speed for him. But he's entering what is the last sequence of corners, this tight braking zone right now. Takes this, it's a fast flowing left from this point onwards, came very close to invalidating his lap, goes on to the back straight. DRS going to open now, and he goes all the way to the line, and that's pole position for Racing Gupta. So he's kept his form from the last race, Malav.
Absolutely, our race winner from the feature race in Portimao, and he is on pole with VFix lining up alongside on the front row.
Half a
Nova
tenth
West.
between them.
Yeah,
Half
it's
a
very
tenth between
close,
them.
half a 10 between them, and then there's a considerable gap, I think, to Nova, who is a further 10th down, and then comes HVP on the second row. So I think all in all, only 10 or 11 people, yeah, 12 people setting the lap time. Caesar all the way down in P12. So pretty sure he
I
made a
think
mistake somewhere.
yes, because
And
I would be very surprised if Caesar was actually 11 seconds off the pace.
well, this is his first time driving these F2 cars, so
Let's look at it.
let's
Look at
see.
P18 and P17, both Dams cars, for whatever
Yeah.
reason it may be.
I
mean,
think
I know what.
Azun's strategy is probably rubbing off on Oxidized Race to not qualify at all and just
They
retire in
do
the pits,
say,
take it easy. But here we
but
go.
look
Jin,
at
I hope you
the.
have shared the link
I
to
have,
the.
I have. I've shared it on the F2 channel. If you want, I'll share it on the other channels as well.
Yeah, just share it on general, because I don't think a lot of people have access to the F2 channel in the
I will, I will.
Discord
I'll
because
do it just
only
now. I'll
people who
share
have
it on
signed up.
F1, and I think
Just share
if
it.
I share it to
Just
F.
share it in general. That should be fine.
All right.
All right. All right. So that's the grid for everyone who has joined us, and we'll see soon enough. It was pretty overcast in qualifying. Not sure how the weather in the race is. I wouldn't mind some rain, but let's
We
see
had enough of
what
that in the last round.
yeah, we did. But yeah,
Oh,
it
it's bright
is.
sunny skies.
It's
It's
very
bright
very
sunny
sunny.
skies. So
So no rain on the horizon. And yeah, you are right. We did have rain at the start of the feature race, and then it went to dry conditions. And the master stroke strategy by Racing Gupta is what earned him a race win. And I think VFix got a podium as well in that. So that was a good race to watch. This is a track which is traditionally or theoretically not very easy to overtake on, but I'm
but
sure our drivers
that
will.
that could be because of the width that the Formula
Yeah,
One cars have. In
yeah.
smaller cars, I think, and in cars especially which are easier to follow, and I think it is definitely possible that we might see a lot of overtake. Uh, is a Nova Masterclass incoming tonight as well?
Well, it's P3, so he's not far off from. Oh,
And
VFix is starting on soft, so is Quick Killer and Indie Gamer. Everyone else is on the medium,
so
so just three people.
this is extremely aggressive strategy by VFix, but on technical circuits like this, I think track position matters a lot. So I think he's going to try to get a good start, because if he loses positions at the start, it's going to cost him major in the second half of the race, because he's going to be on the slower mediums. So an aggressive strat by VFix, and everyone else, most of the grid is on mediums, so they are going to look for consistency over this period. I think one of the most important things that might decide this race is who gets how many penalties, because on tight tracks like this, when you're looking to cover every inch of the track, sometimes you end up covering more than what is allowed. So let's see how it goes.
Absolutely. As I'm seeing Vintage player on the grass and has a considerable gap to Quick Killer ahead of him. There is practically 3 or 4 groups or subgroups on this formation lap, while Vintage player has closed up, or somewhat closed up to...
Noobshan is behind the 2 dams, boys, so I think something must have happened. I think he might have spun or
he's
something.
He's in between the 2 of them, it seems.
No, now he overtook one of them, so now he's between the 2 of them. I'm not sure what's happening.
Yeah, by the time they now he's overtaking the second one as well. So
someone spun.
That's Shah, I think.
Has his potentiometer gone again? Has his potentiometer gone again?
Oh, that is... Is that just specific to F2 then? That is potentiometer is having problems. But either ways, has been a slightly hectic formation lap considering people going off. But now everything seems to be order, and in just a few seconds, people will be lining up on the main straight on their grid slots. As
one thing I love about F2 Malav is the fact that 2 teammates could have such different liveries that you wouldn't know that they're in the same team.
Absolutely.
Look at VFix's livery and look at his teammate Indic Gamer's livery. Both of them are worlds apart, but both of them are part of the same team. So this is something that I like with F2.
Oh my god, yeah, you're absolutely right. One is orange and the other is bright yellow. So that's
one thing I like about F2, the flexibility to have livery freedom. Unlike in F1 where you have to have the same livery. So
yeah, you are right. So let's see how it goes. The VFix on the front row theoretically might get a better start, but we'll see the red lights on the grid pretty soon. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights on the grid.
And they go out. Looks like VFix does get better traction off the start. Gupta tries to aggressively cover him off, but Nova has made an absolute belter of a start. He's into the lead going into turn 1. That is a monstrous start by Nova, and VFix nearly went onto the grass. He's had to cut the corner. He's on the gravel right now. He's had to cut the corner. That is not an ideal situation for VFix because he's dropped all the way back to P6 right now. I think there might have been a small tap which wouldn't have allowed him to make the corner right there. But as it goes right now, Nova is leading. Quick Killer makes a move on HVP.
Oh, there's a car in the background. I think there's Indie Gamer completely smashed against the wall.
Yeah, he lost his front wing as well with Oxidized Rage. So Oxidize and Indic both having front wing damage, and it's gonna be quite a long race for them because remember, unless 3 laps are finished on the current set of tires, it doesn't count as a mandatory pit stop. So if they pit now, they'll have to pit once more, and VFX is another 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I was trying to overtake HVP there, and VFX has got another time penalty. HVP coming back at him, so this battle is not over at all. I think VFX lets him go probably.
I think he might have gotten an illegal overtake as well. So.
Yeah, that's quite possible. Let's have a look at positions gained as they enter sector 3. VFX still on the back. Nova has gained 2. Quick Killer has
the biggest lead. He's gained 4 positions. So has Azun and Shah. But we'll see. First round of pit stops will decide a lot in this race. And VFX meanwhile has to drive extremely aggressive right now because he needs to gain positions as fast as possible. He's on the soft tires.
Yeah, on board with Hershey right now, who's trying a move on Redstone Dub. He has to choose the outside line because Redstone has defended the inside. Can Hershey go all the way around the outside? No, he does not.
He can't. He settles in behind. But that was good defending there by Redstone Dub, utilizing the track absolute perfection. And Oxidized Rage gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. And
Caesar has DNF'd.
Caesar has just DNF from the session. And
yeah, I can see his car there.
The contrasting fortunes of the MP Motorsport boys. His teammate is out in first and Caesar has DNF, so not a good start for Caesar.
And it's a virtual safety car which will help Oxidize and Indie Gamer who are in the pits. And I think Caesar had a collision with Abdul Ahmed because Abdul Ahmed was round as well, was facing the wrong way. So it's quite possible that they were the two cars which came in contact with each other, resulting into a DNF for Caesar. We'll keep an
But
eye
the
out on
good,
Abdul.
but the good thing about this being a VSC is that next lap DRS does activate. So right now you can't even pit because it doesn't count as a mandatory pit stop, even if we had done more than 3 laps. So everyone's just going to stay out, and I think. Do you think anyone's gonna get a drive-through, Malav?
I hope not. Drive-thrus have been, or rather, Delta has been catching up a lot of people of late, just as the VSC period is about to end. So let's hope that doesn't happen because it's a short race, technically in terms of laps, and it is very difficult to recover from a drive-through. DRS has been in, rather, VSC is now out, and Quick Killer is on the charge. He's going to probably make a move on his last season's teammate. Arjun Shah, Quick Killer
and he makes the move
has
stick. That's a brilliant move by Quick Killer. He's using the soft as to the full
advantage. Here comes Arjun, come back. Yeah, he comes back.
I thought Quick Killer had lost traction there, but good defending there by Quick Killer. Nevertheless, he maintains position, and this is extremely good. I'm getting an aerial shot of this side. Now, VFix has just gone off track again.
Oh yeah, he did. He was right behind HVP there, and VFix losing multiple positions once again. There's the aerial shot. Oh, someone else went round. That's Hershey who was completely lost the plot there. And as things stands, Noah has a very good advantage over Racing Gupta in P2. Quick Killer just about holding on.
Quick Killer just about holding on, but obviously he has to try to stretch this because Arjun will have DRS on him going into this lap. As things stand right now, VFix looks to be quite uncomfortable with the way his car has been set up. So.
Vintage! Was it Vintage? Was it Hershey? I think it was Hershey who lost it again.
Yeah, he's lost the car again, so he's trying to come back onto track. Sid Venkatesh was behind him. Unfortunately, I think he was caught up in the chaos as well. So right now, as it stands, Arjun Shah Quick Killer has managed to get some gap between him and Arjun. HPP has DRS on Arjun, but since both of them had DRS, I think it nullifies.
Well, it doesn't nullify as much as HPP probably just about having a look there, and he's smart to back out of that one.
Too far to make the move stick.
Yeah, and Noob Shan making a move on Team Scal, and look at Quick Killer making absolutely brilliant use of his fresh soft tires. Is now challenging Racing Gupta, who has dropped off the pace as compared to Noah West, who is flying off in the distance.
Oh, Gupta there, it seemed like he had a twitch there with the way his car just veered off course. But one thing I've realized, having raced against Racing Gupta, is that his tire management is not the best. So that's in F1. So in F2, where tire management is a critical skill, it could be hurting him right now with the way it's going for him.
Speaking of tire management, Jin, how are the tires? How are the medium tires which you took to what, 17 laps last night?
I did
18 laps on those tires. So what a mega stint that was. And here is Quick Killer losing a position. Oh, he pushes him wide.
He squeezes him all the way to the grass. That is quite an adventurous move there by Quick Killer. Quite an aggressive defense, I must say. But Arjun will have DRS on him, and he's closer this time around. But Quick Killer has DRS as well. So is it going to be a DRS train for a couple of laps? Arjun sets the fastest lap. Meanwhile, you know how much pace he has. Even after going onto the grass, he managed to set it. Efix, meanwhile, sets the fastest lap of the race again. So he's looking more comfortable now as laps are going on.
He is, and now he is in some clean air. He has a further 1.5 seconds. Quick Killer gets a 3-second time penalty. Is he going for a move?
He's a little too far back behind Racing Gupta,
has he disconnected? I think he has disconnected Quick Killer. Shah has retired.
Session, meanwhile,
what happened to Shah? You can see his car.
He hit the wall. He lost traction and hit the wall. That's all the virtual safety car again. And
it's a VSC once again. You're right.
I think this is a good sign for the soft tire runners because it allows them to push for 1 or 2 laps extra compared to what they would have been doing.
So how long do the mediums go? Is my question, Jen. When do the soft runners?
I haven't driven the F2 car, so I can't tell you much about it. But I mean, technically, if you're good at tire management, the mediums can go as long as you want them to.
Alright, that's probably a good answer. As Suraj says hello. Suraj, why are you not racing in F2? Just let us know. If you're racing in
Probably
F1.
next week we can see him show up in F2 and absolutely destroy the field with the pace he has.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see, the VSC is still out. I don't think you can pit under this VSC, right? Oh,
Oh,
Steve Scale,
he's
there
just
is
got a
it.
drive-through penalty.
That's the
Now he has to
drive-through.
serve a drive-through, and he has also got yet to make a pit stop. So this is gonna cost him
Here
a
goes
lot
Quick
of
Killer.
time.
He
Here
has
goes Quick
the
Killer on
run.
Racing Gupta,
Oh,
and
VFix.
VFix gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. So this has turned out to be a very un-VFix like race, because normally he hardly ever gets penalties, if you remember.
Yeah,
So
that's right.
he's pit on lap 6. He's ditched the softs, and now he has to. Yeah, not only does he have to make a charge up the field, he has 11 seconds of penalties also, Malav.
That's a very tall order for VFix, but let's not write him off just yet. Noobshan gets a 3-second time penalty and he's being caught up by a zone. Sid Venkatesh gets past VFix. It's a very, very long pit stop window here. The time lost because it's F2, so you don't have as many people servicing your car rather, and as such you lose a lot of time in pit stops, but that's for everyone, so no real disadvantage that way. But yeah, if you do need to make an extra stop, that would hurt you a lot, and that's what
Unless
probably
there's a safety car that pops up, in which case it would help you, but
yeah, but we don't have Caesar in the race anymore, so no one can actually summon the safety car. But here we go. Arjun Arun Shah is the next one to put pressure on Racing Gupta. So it's not just.
Racing Gupta look to have brilliant one-lap pace. It's just the race where he's struggling at right now.
Yeah,
So
he is struggling on heavy fuel. He will have DRS on Quick Killer, so I don't think Arjun Arun Shah is within a shot of overtaking, at least on this lap. But yeah, now we are entering that period where I don't know. Are the soft runners thinking about pit stops? I know when I say soft runners, it's only here goes Arjun Shah. Racing Gupta made a mistake there, and Arjun Shah might just be interested there. Can HUP go for a move? No, he does not. T-Scal pits, by the way. That's his drive-through. And Arjun Shah instead of
has lost a position. Has he lost a position to HVP? No, he hasn't. It just looked like it. But HVP gets a much better drive out of that corner because of the longer line that it took. This allows him to be on the back of Arjun as things stand right now. He's just missing that little bit of, if he had ERS deployment, he could have probably got that move done. But spec cars, so it's the same for everyone. It's gonna be the same problem for everyone. Nova, meanwhile, is just, casually extending, and Gupta makes a mistake there.
Racing Gupta made a mistake. Can HUP take advantage of that as well? It goes down the inside. No, he does not.
No, it does not. Nova, meanwhile, I think made a mistake. It was 4 seconds ahead of Quick Killer. Quick Killer has cut that to 3.1 now. A lot of people getting time penalties in this race.
Almost half the field with time penalties.
I think Nova is quite comfortable right now because he doesn't have to push. Nova pits. This is quite early. He pits on lap 7.
And he was on the mediums, so Arjun Shah gets a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And here goes HVP on Racing Gupta. He's going to go towards the right because that's where the space is. Can Arjun Shah make that mistake? No, it seems like it's very good defending from Racing Gupta. But it seems like every time it will work because the track is not wide enough to accommodate 2 cars.
It just seems like they have to make this pass millimeter perfect, with the way the track is. But at least we're getting to see passes in this track, so that's always a nice thing to watch. And HVP tries to go on the inside of Gupta this time around. Gets a much better run, but Gupta has got the straight line advantage, so still can't get past. And what this is allowing Quick Killer to build a small buffer. Now Quick Killer needs to push because Nova is absolutely gonna hunt him down on those soft tires that he has. So it's a different kind of strategy from Nova, pitting very early on the mediums and trying to go on the softs as soon as possible.
Yeah, so he seems to be confident that the softs will last until the end of the race. So he's practically doing lesser laps on mediums than on softs. So T-Scal getting a penalty.
He was speeding in the pit lane, and I think the pit lane is catching a lot of people out in this race. HVP, meanwhile, he nearly ran into the back of Gupta, but he's so close. He has to make the move stick this time. He'll have DRS, and Gupta heads into the pits. Smart decision there. Rather than
Racing
not
so smart.
Gets a 5 second.
That's a 5-second penalty for Gupta as well. So at this rate, it is HVP who's in the advantage now because he doesn't have that penalty to solve and he can just pit on the next lap. Even if he comes behind Gupta, that should be fine.
Roshan gets a
Nishan,
5-second penalty as
yeah,
well.
everyone is getting caught out there with that.
Meanwhile, Azun, let's just look at Azun. He's gained 14 positions to be in P4 right now.
This man just never fails to amaze, does he? But
he's always in the driver of the day hunt because of these kinds of moves that he pulls out. Hershey also gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I think because people haven't driven Imola in a long time, they don't realize where the limiter is exactly for
yeah,
Imola.
and the stopping power of these F2 cars is also quite different than the F1 cars. So, you know, that could also be something which is catching them out. Racing Gupta, meanwhile, is on the hunt and he is trying to catch Arjun Arun Shah. Remember, both of these drivers were in a battle with HVP and Quick Killer. And let's see, they are followed by VFix, who has also pitted. Oxidized Race gets a 3-second time penalty. We are waiting for Quick Killer to make his pit stop.
I mean, if this is a race of endurance at this point, I think VFix is in the advantage because he does have medium tires on. So, I mean, most of these people don't practice F2. So I think it's a shot in the dark as far as how the tires are gonna behave comes down to. No one has any idea of the wear that is necessary. HVP meanwhile is going faster on these mediums. He's cutting the gap to Quick Killer every now and so. So if you're Quick Killer, you'll probably pit this lap or the next one. But 10 laps on the soft is a good sign. Vintage meanwhile doesn't get any 5-second penalties. Azun is up to P3, but he's going to drop quite considerably considering he hasn't made his pit stop unless the safety car comes out now. Nova, look at that, 126, 172 on the soft tires. He's already on the hunt for Azun now. And Quick Killer and HVP.
Here goes VFix.
Here goes VFix. On Racing Gupta, he's gonna... Oh, with the less advantageous tires, he's made the move stick. I think Gupta might have let him go because he would have been like, you know, this guy has 11 seconds worth of penalties. So it might just be wiser for him to follow right now rather than try to defend.
Yeah, and at the same time, HVP has, look at the gap. It's just coming down every sector or so. It was 2.5 the last time I checked, and it's 1.6 now.
So I think the softs are hitting their threshold as far as it looks from the pace drop that is happening to Quick Killer. So right now, VFix is trying to catch Arjun Arun Shah. This might take a few laps to get done because Quick Killer has spit as we are speaking, and Quick Killer does not get a 5-second penalty. Very crucial to keep that in mind. Has HVP got enough of a delta that he's cleared Nova West as well, or is he gonna try to stay out for 1-2 laps, try to extend the delta and then?
So where is Nova? Nova is through the second last corner, and now rounding up the final corner is Azun overtakes Quick Killer.
Where Quick Killer comes out in relation to Nova should tell us about.
Nova seems to be on course to overtake him. Yeah, Nova is going to get him.
What will the gap be between him and Quick Killer right now?
It's considerable. It is very, very considerable. Let's see if Racing Gupta can...
Oh, Indic Gamer I think just spun there. Yes, he did. He's coming back onto the track. Arjun meanwhile has DRS on... Oh, he got past Quick Killer as well. So also the one important thing to remember about F2 is that you don't have tire blankets in F2. So your outlap is gonna be much slower because you need to get the tires up to temp, and then the second lap is when you can start attacking. No matter what set of tires you go on, and this has given VFix some slight opportunity in order to try to catch up to Quick Killer. He should have DRS on him, but Quick Killer looks confident as well, just chasing Arjun Arun Shah right now. He's on the freshest pair of mediums right now in the top 6. As things stand, and Gupta is meanwhile making inroads into VFix's gap as well. HVP, is he gonna pit? No, he stays out one more lap. This is an interesting strat by HVP. Is he leaving himself with enough laps to try to fight back to Nova West?
I think he might have already, taken himself out of contention for a fight with Nova. But a P2 is still on the cards because HVP... Oh, who was that? I think that was Racing Gupta going very, very wide. And has lost all the ground.
1.5 seconds to VFix. VFix meanwhile is on the back of Quick Killer, chasing him down at every opportunity, but he'll be hoping that Arjun can pull through on Quick Killer right now because Quick Killer will get DRS at this rate. He gets a 3-second time penalty. Went slightly wide there on the exit of that corner. Let's see. VFix, is he close enough to make a move on. No, he won't be close enough to make a move. Stick on quick killer this time around. Also, VFix. I mean, Arjun gets a 3-second time penalty while we're talking about it. Also, one thing that I have to point out is the fact that ABS off works very differently in F2 cars because of the lesser braking power. You tend to have an easier time locking these cars. You don't know how much input is the necessary one.
So it would be more challenging for VFix to drive ABS off in these cars. Is HUB going to pit now?
I mean, he will get DRS, I think, from Indic Gamer. HUB has a moment and he crashes.
Just as he was about to enter the pits, HUB.
I think, but at least he won't get a 5-second time penalty.
Yeah, he
I think
won't.
That, he does get a 5-second
Oh
time
my god,
penalty.
he still manages to get a 5-second time penalty. That is Arjun Shah in the wall.
Has he lost his... I think he has a bit of damage. Yes, he does. He has end plate damage right there. And he tried defending very, very hard from Gupta right there. So, right now, VFix should be able to get some sort of a move planned on Quick Killer, considering that he'll have DRS and Quick Killer won't. So that accident for Arjun Aruncha could cost Quick Killer this position right now. As VFix, he has the DRS wing open. He's 4 tenths down. Is it close enough? Teams meanwhile gets another 3-second time penalty. Is VFix close enough? He's closing ever so now and then. Quick Killer takes the inside, but VFix on the outside.
VFix is round.
Quick Killer and him make contact. Quick Killer and VFix make contact right there. And that has dropped VFix all the way to P7. So that's 3 times he's gone out track. Maybe 3rd time was the charm for him. But as things stand right now, I know that it's not a legitimate lead for him right now, but Azun is leading an F2 race.
Just for the highlights.
Just for the highlights, Azun is leading an F2 race, and I think he's going to pit this lap because Nova has caught up to him by quite a significant margin.
But look at HUB, look at where he came out in P8 and has lost so much time. I know part of it would be because of the wing change he would have had to make, but I think he stayed on to the on those medium tires 1 lap too many. Racing Gupta meanwhile is now getting hunted by, well, he has caught up to Arjun Shah who went wide, but he was also getting caught up by Redstone Dub. But Redstone Dub has gone wide, so Arjun finally pits.
And he doesn't get a 5-second time penalty, so penalties, only 2 people in the entire grid don't have penalties right now, Malav, and that's Azun and Nova OS.
Yeah, so Azun might still gain a lot of positions in this race because of no time penalties for him. Here we go. Arjun Arun Shah is under attack from Racing Gupta, and let's see.
He doesn't have a front wing, remember that, so he's going to lose a lot of time. So Gupta should get this move done, ideally now, and he does. He's car length ahead, and he makes the move stick. So a good move there by Racing Gupta. Clean overtake.
Who was that going wide there? I think it was Racing Gupta and Arjun Arun Shah still battling it out. But finally, Racing Gupta solidifying that move, and up ahead is Quick Killer, who is 14 seconds off the pace, or 14 seconds down on Nova West. So, well, if things go this way, Nova can probably, well, I know I'm just joking, but he can almost make a pit stop and come out and still get a podium here. That's the lead which he has got.
I feel like at this point, since Nova is that much in the lead, he should just start cutting the track for fun. It would spice up things if you were to get,
he has to give himself some kind of a handicap. Otherwise, he's going to win the race by a mile here.
But such is the nature of this track. I mean, Nova got an electric start, went into P1, and from there he's just controlled the race. Like you'd expect from him. It's quite a brilliant drive from Nova, things being said. Azun, meanwhile, I don't know if he's going to gain much positions or not, because he's quite far behind everyone, 10 seconds behind Noobshan.
So and he will have fresher tires at his disposal. Speaking of Noobshan, he has been
Azun
stuck behind.
There. I was just on board with him.
Is Redstone Dub going to overtake here? I think he just might on Arjun Arun Shah.
He's quite close to Arjun Arun Shah, and he has the inside line as well, but he brakes earlier. I think he realized he wasn't going to make the corner without any contact.
Cutting back to Nishan now, he has been behind Vintage Player for a lot of laps now. This might be the lap where he finally decides to make a move. He does.
He makes it stick really well. And Harshi, meanwhile, another 3-second time penalty. So, I mean, Azun right now is in the final point scoring position. in the on track. Quick Killer,
And
meanwhile, is losing time to Nova as we go on, even though Nova is on old soft, so that just shows how much pace Nova West has.
yeah,
Racing
absolutely.
Gupta, meanwhile, has managed to make up a
Oh,
lot of time.
here goes Redstone Dub on Arjun Anusha. He almost ran into the back of him because Arjun Anusha did not get a good exit out of the
I
chicane. He
mean,
seems to be glitching a little.
yeah, Arjun right now he's going to suffer from major understeer because he doesn't have the left end plate of his front wing, so he's going to struggle with major understeer. And unlucky for him, the last two corners are left-handers, so it's going to compromise his exit every lap. And meanwhile, Redstone looks to be very, very close to pull this move off right now.
He's going to
And I
go
think
for it, and
he's
I
going to
don't
go.
think.
He's going to dive down to the inside, so he has the better run through. HVP meanwhile trying to get past VFix as well as we speak, and HVP, oh, he makes the move on VFix and he does make it stick. So that was a good move by HVP as well. That's VFix on one more position, and Redstone is past Arjun Aruncha. This should allow him to run away a bit, because Arjun won't be able to follow him as closely. He has to get out of the DRS window as fast as possible. Gupta meanwhile has gone past Quick Killer. So for a guy who was unlucky in no, I wouldn't call it unlucky. He made a mistake. He spun in yesterday's France race. This is quite a good comeback. So the bad karma is out for him last night itself.
Yeah, and it is going to be another podium. While it won't be a race win, but it is still going to be a podium for Racing Gupta. 2 laps to go after this one. I don't think there will be any safety cars from now on. So what you see on the screen right now in terms of grid order, you will see a lot similar in the final race classifications because almost everyone has time penalties. Azun has decreased the gap by a little bit on Vintage Player, but he's not gaining a lot, is he? Oh, Arjun Shah and Redstone Dub. I
Once
think.
again, this battle has allowed HVP to enter the chat as well. So lucky for him, at least this time he isn't the reason why a driver DNF'd in the first start of the race itself.
Yeah, now on board with HVP, he is getting a good
right
run.
He
He gets just the first one of the
gotten a
race as
good
well.
run,
Can both of them overtake Arjun and Shah here? That's my question here.
Is it a
HVP
double
does.
overtake incoming?
Oh,
it's going to be so close. I have a feel. Oh, they do. They managed a double overtake. That was brilliant to watch. That's brilliant racing. Only possible in F2.
Here we go. HVP on Redstone Dub now. HVP is going to go down the inside. What
and
a
he breaks
move!
so late and he makes the move stick.
Yeah,
That was
and
brilliant by HVP.
two moves in a space of what, like
Four corners.
4 corners there, and I think props to Redstone Dub as well to ensure that he doesn't collide with HP. Gave him enough space, and
Meanwhile, the battle for who's finishing second on track at least is a pretty interesting one because Quick Killer is still within the DRS range of Gupta. So can he continue being there just so that he can overtake at the last? Maybe we have a last lap overtake incoming. Nova meanwhile is finally starting to lose some steam, but at this point is 16.5 seconds. So like,
I think he is driving with just one hand, with one hand tied behind his back at this point. Oh, Sid Venkatesh!
Has DNF'd.
What happened to Sid Venkatesh on the main straight?
He's crashed. I think
And
he just
he
had a
has
snap
crashed.
of oversteer. He might have had a snap of oversteer, and that's caused him to
Yeah,
DNF.
that's what it seems like. It's not going to bring out any kind of a VSC or a safety
But
car, and the drivers have to avoid him. It's ghosting off or something.
Ghosting is on. Ghosting is on, but
Drivers are literally going, like steering to the left so that they, don't collide with him, and that's probably the safe way to do it.
I have no idea, but ghosting was on because I made the lobby and I checked the settings twice. So I don't know. It may be a glitch with the game.
The drivers are just being safe here. They don't want any glitches later on. Arjun Arusha is under attack from VFix. It is already the last lap of the race.
I think VFX will wait till the last. Will wait till the DRS zone to make an overtake. Azun has pit. I don't know why he pit. He was in the point scoring position.
He's probably, is he betting or is he? I think he lost position there. Oh, he's DNF'd, so he is retired. And as things stands, I think it will be. Oh, Oxidized.
Disqualified. Oh yeah, he did. He might have pit in the beginning of the session itself, and
oh, it then went on until the end of the session.
yeah.
So that's a disqualification for him. Meanwhile, let's focus on Nova West, who's going to finish first as the fastest lap of the race for Nova West. What a legend this guy is as far as F2 is concerned. Not in
11 lap
person,
old,
but
11 lap old softs doesn't really matter. I mean, Nova drove that like it was like 1 lap old softs.
absolutely. Racing Gupta will finish and retain that P2 with Quick Killer rounding out the podium. HVP
No,
takes it.
HVP takes it.
Despite a 5-second time penalty, HVP takes the podium. Quick Killer for P4. Redstone Dub. That's a good drive from him in P5. Vintage somehow was retired from the session. That is on the last lap.
Oh, he's crashed on the start finish.
Same place as Sid Venkatesh, it seems like. V6 will finish P7.
Yeah, I don't think that is a final reason for V6 because it's not close enough. Look at that. Vintage has crashed. Yeah, he crashed. He might have lost traction coming out on the last corner.
So Nishan finishing P8, Hershey in P9.
Abdul Samad should get P10, and he does. That's points for Abdul yet again. Indic Gamer, meanwhile, is too far behind. So
yeah, that's true. And so that means that Nishan and VFix will start on the front row. I want to know what happened to Redstone, Arjun and Shah. There is no delta for me. Or there's no interval for me. So maybe they finished very close to each other. It's that.
Look at that. It's basically 22.4 seconds, Malav, was the winning margin this time around. Even if you discount the fact that Gupta had a 5-second penalty, it's still 17.4 seconds.
Yeah.
I shall be back.
Alright. Alright, so let's see. Let's see what the final gap is going to be between Redstone and Arjun Shah. It seems pretty close, but we have absolutely no idea what happened there. I think once the final race classifications are up, we will see. But Nova West has won this race from Racing Gupta and Quick Killer, and driver of the day Noob Shan will finish in P8, and that means he will start on pole for the sprint race, which is 13 laps if I'm not wrong.
Okay, I'm back.
Alright, so we just had a glimpse of Nova on the podium that's celebrating his win, and Redstone Dub and Arjun Shah.
I wouldn't call it a glimpse really, it's a sight that we are going to see a lot of times.
Yeah, we just have to get used to it, don't we?
Nova is like, I mean, it should be called Lewis West with the way he drives, but...
Don't you try that with me here.
Nova West, Racing Gupta and HVP are your podium sitters for this race. Quick Killer in 4th, Redstone Derp in 5th, Arjun Aruncha 6th, VFix in 7th. 8th for Noobshan, so that means Noobshan gets reverse grid pole for the sprint race. Hershey Abdul Samad round up to final point scoring position, and a lot of DNFs though. I don't understand. For Azun, I have to especially watch that DNF of his because he was in the final point scoring position. I don't know why he retired from the race. But yeah, heading into it should
maybe
be
I think he wanted to be. He wanted to start as further back as possible for the sprint race as well, because I think he can't function if he's higher up the grid. That's my hypothesis. So the more towards the back of the grid he is, the more he's at ease, the more he feels at home, and he takes.
Now
even if it's a 5-lapper, I think he would want to start from the back.
Now I think you're gonna watch a Nova West masterclass in a way because he's in 8th place.
Yeah, he's gonna make some moves, or at least hope to make some moves and not get caught up. It's overcast once again. I think
if it's overcast for the entire race, you could probably make the softs last because the track temps won't be as high. So
yeah, and it seemed like a lot of drivers were pitting on early from those mediums to go onto the softs.
Made softs last for 11 laps, so this just has to make it last for 2 more. But then again, everyone doesn't save tires the same way, so let's see who takes a gamble on their tire management skills.
Absolutely, and Caesar starting last. The last time that happened, he DNF'd after a few meters. So I would hope that doesn't happen to him.
I mean, do you have experience in DNFing after a few meters, Malin?
I do, but at least I didn't start last. Tires, okay, everyone on the softs except Vintage player who has opted for the mediums. The formation lap is underway. And as expected, Noobshan on pole with VFix alongside him. Arjun
And
Ansha,
Nokshan
Redstone
and
Dub.
VFix, of course, teammates.
Yeah, teammates
Teammates
in
yesterday.
F1. Yep.
Teammates yesterday. Redstone has been
Oh, and two
disqualified
people have
with
already
Arjun
been
Aruncha.
disqualified.
So, yeah, as I was saying, it's a battle of the teammates in another division between Noobshan and VFix. Now, VFix realizes the mistake that he made the last time around, where Nova West made a start like Max Verstappen did from third place to go into P1 by the end of
Oh,
it.
who was that? Caesar, bro. Come on, get the formation lap right. He spun in the first
I mean,
sector.
at this point, with
Thankfully,
these
there is no
amounts,
damage on the
thankfully there's no
formation
damage.
lap.
Yeah, but with these amounts of spins, it seems like some guy called Iki446 or something is driving Caesar's car right now.
I like how you have masked his true identity by saying Iki644. There's someone who's going very slow.
446, not 644, 446.
Oh, okay, 446. But yeah, that it was pretty, hilarious the way Caesar spun in a very low speed. But yeah, it's just getting used to it. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any practice at all on these cars.
I think most of these people struggle at the start because the way you start an F2 car is completely different from F1. So while they are going to line up to the grid, let me just explain that. In F1, you try to keep a low acceleration because it reaches maximum revs very fast. So that allows you to plant the power as fast as possible. But in this, there's a significant turbo lag in F2 cars. So you do need to keep higher levels of acceleration so that it gives you a turbo boost if you time it just correctly. So I think a lot of drivers still start with the low acceleration and it causes them to have a period of like slight stalling on the grid. So it's one of those skills that drivers, because we drive. Oh, VFix just went off track there. Because they drive so much F1, they kind of have to unlearn everything they know about F1 to get a better start in F2.
Absolutely, and VFix hopefully. Oh, there's someone else who
that's Quick Killer, I think.
Yeah, Quick Killer.
So Quick Killer should get a good start compared to Redstone and Arjun Aruncha.
So it is HVP and Quick Killer who are teammates, right? They're lining up on the third row together. So at least I got that right in terms of pairing. And
I think for Nova West, the start is crucial because if he's behind Racing Gupta, he's going to have to spend time battling him. Gupta is not an easy overtake as far as from what we've evidenced so far. So this should be interesting. Everyone is on the grid. They are. And the game is showing me. Why is it showing me cockpit cam?
That's sometimes a glitch. But here we go. You can see the lights on the screen right now.
3, 4, 5, and they're out. Seemed like a long hole this time around. Noobshan seems to. Oh, Noobshan got an electric start. Look at the start Noobshan got. This time VFix manages to run much better on the start. Arjun is side by side with VFix and they make contact once again. Is VFix gonna go on to the ground?
There's a lot of contact there.
Oh, that was a Lewis Hamilton like start for VFix right there, having to run on top of those bollards. Luckily, no floor damage. Shah gets a 5-second penalty for severe contact with oxidized rage. I'm not sure what happened there, but it's Noobshan who leads the way heading into the first sector.
He is indeed. It was one of the best starts I've seen. Forget F1 and F2. But Arjun Aruncha is now going to challenge him up into the uphill corner of left-hander, and I think he might just have it. There you go, as he emerges from the camera angle.
And Quick Killer trying to dive down Noobshan again, but Noobshan holds the racing line for this one. Quick Killer goes all the way off track. I'm not sure whether that's a legal overtake or not. VFix has to just step out of the way against Quick Killer, but he gets the position done. So now will indirect team orders come through? Because both of them may be out of Ferrari, but both of them are driving cars which have Ferrari logo on them in this race.
Indeed they are, and Quick Killer further losing a position to HVP there, so that's HVP into P5. Noah has made up one place. And
P7 Gupta has made all the way up to P4 now. He's gotten past everyone. So he's gained 3 positions, which is crucial. Right now, VFix has to get past Noobshan as fast as possible if he wants to catch Arjun Aruncha.
Teammates are battling right now.
Steps out of the slipstream of HVP. Can he get the move done? No, he doesn't. He thinks better of it. He chooses not to overtake HVP right there. VFix, meanwhile, Oxidized Rage gets another 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane.
Here goes Quick Killer.
Quick Killer is still behind his teammate. I think he's not making any dive bombs because he knows that if he makes it, it could be a costly mistake for the team.
And further behind, Caesar has popped up in P11 after starting P18. So that's Caesar up a lot of places.
I want Caesar to climb 3 more places and Nova to just stay where he is right now, because that would be interesting.
That would bring a recipe for fireworks there. Let's see what VFix can do. He is...
No, he's gonna back out of this move. He's gonna back out and he's gonna try to get him on the straight. It's a very risky overtake to try it there.
But if he gets a good traction out of this corner, he's going for it, and he will be on the outside. Nishan just about has it, but VFix is almost round. I think he was held by Racing Gupta, who was just behind him. I think there are bits of carbon fiber or whatever material they use in F2.
VFix has end plate. No, he doesn't have end plate damage, luckily for him.
Someone did well. I think someone did have some damage.
I think it's Nova who got the damage because of it. I'm not sure. Yeah, it is Nova who has damage, but then again, that's how Nova drives faster. But Nova pits. Nova pits, my love. Nova has to pit. And in a feature race and a sprint race when pit stops are not mandatory.
Oh, no, VFix! Oh my god! What did I just see there? Complete what a collision that was between VFX and Nishan. Nishan gets a time penalty in the process. It is absolute madness here. Someone is round. There's Racing Gupta who's round. Oh my god, what did I just see there?
Arjun is just saying, you guys just continue battling.
Arjun is doing his favorite Nova impression at this rate. Yeah. He's just flying off in the distance. And VFix is now overtaking Nishan. I'm pretty sure Nishan has damage from that collision. HEP is trying to make a move as well. Oh, once again, Nishan is round.
To Aqua Minerale they go, and the HEP is extremely close. This is hard racing. I will say this, so Noob Chance 5 seconds will get removed, so it's not much of a worry for him.
I think he has damage. I think he has
a one Red Bull livery car, and Noob Chance spun around right there, and the gap now at the front is 6.5 seconds.
Caesar and all that. Caesar has climbed up to P5. Oh so my god, it's absolute mayhem here. Arjun Shah gapping these cars by a further 2 seconds in the last 2 sectors. And Nishan is now battling Redstone up. I'm not sure if Nishan is going to come in the pits, but what a disaster it has been for his race.
He tries to pull to the inside of VFix, but he can't because he wasn't close enough once the DRS zone began. So I have no clue what's happening out here. It's a pretty chaotic race. Aside from the guy who's leading, of course, he's just finishing his sectors one by one. He's just like driving to the requirement absolutely. And the pace gap, no matter how much it may be, at best VFix will take like what, 2 tenths per lap, and that's not enough.
No, and one thing let me tell you about Arjun Shah in F2, he is another beast. He might not be the absolute fastest driver in F1, but in F2 in last season a lot of times he was the only person who could challenge Noah West for the title. So
after winning the feature race, he's second last right now.
So Noah is practically out of the points right now unless there's a safety car. There's someone round. It is Shah who has lost it at the uphill right-hander.
I think people what they struggle with in F2 could be the fact that power kicks in very late. So if you're used to, for example, in Formula 1, if you take a corner at 4th gear and then there's immediate power delivery, in F2 it takes much time, so you have to drive in lower gears, and that could catch a lot of people out because the car does tend to snap violently when you try it. So yeah, as things stand right now, VFix has increased his lead and Quick Killer is battling with his teammate. This time around no one has penalties so far, so it's a much less chaotic race in terms of penalty situation. HVP meanwhile this is costing him time, isn't it? Look at that.
Caesar No, this is the same corner where he lost it on the formation lap, and Caesar has retired. It's a virtual safety car, and it is safety car now, and Nova is back in the game.
I think Nova West has sprayed his daily quota 5 times today with the safety car.
Oh my god! So in the last 24 hours, Indy Gamer. Indy Gamer just lost it. And people are spitting so much. I'm sorry for laughing, but it's just it's just a little hilarious. So I was saying in the last 24 hours, Caesar has DNF 3 times, and that is very
That
funny
is
to
an
me.
that is an IRL stat. That is an
That
IRL
is an
stat.
added stat. Three
Most number of
DNFs,
DNF.
3 DNFs in 24 hours. Oh my god. Catch a break, will you? But this gives VFix and HVP so much time to think about how they are going to challenge
I mean,
Arjun and
if you're
Shah.
Arjun, you might be feeling a little gutted because
No
it was
uppets,
a
by
very
the way.
comfortable lead.
No uppets, and I think he's going to be a lap down. That is not going to help him at all. He might just about exit
He's ahead. He's
before his
ahead.
big
He's
lap.
ahead. He's ahead. He has made it through.
Oh, that
And
was
now
risky.
I
That
think I
was
know what Noah
risky.
is trying to do, but Noah will also have a delta on him right now. That's how this game works. It doesn't allow you to. But no one's gonna pit because there's no point to it unless you have damage. So
Noah was on the mediums, now he's on the softs, so and he's on used softs. I think these were the softs from which he started the race. So yeah, he has. I hope he has enough time to catch up to the pack because it's a very long track in these F2 cars, and the rest of the field, especially up to
no, but
P12,
the
that's
safety car
assumed.
won't go in because there's too many laps left until Noah catches up with the rest of the grid.
Yeah,
So
and
he
Oxidized
hasn't
Rage.
lost much.
Let's see where Oxidized Rage is. He's definitely down 1 lap. He's in P18 and he's in the first sector right now. So this should be interesting. The top four, well, Abdul is there as well, but the top four, they have shown that pace tonight that either of them could win this one. And had Racing Gupta not made that mistake, he would have been up there as well. But he's now challenging Noob Shan, who was also, in the lead for some time, and was also challenging for the podium positions for a while until he and VFix had a coming together. So
I mean, that's something I'm gonna leave up to the teammates to discuss what really happened there.
I'm pretty sure it's coming to you as well. Jin. But yeah, that looked a little bit. I don't know what to make of it. I'll not make any further comments on that. But it looked very weird to see the two of them just run into each other like that on a straight. But either ways, the race has been nullified. Noah will catch up to the next set of cars, and let's see what he can do in.
Oh, is it raining? It is
Oh
raining.
my
It is
god!
raining. It is
Oh
raining.
my god! I don't see spits of rain. Oh yeah, I do spits. Oh yeah, it is. I do see some rain, and that would make it all the more interesting. Does anyone think that it's going to
Because
get
there's
heavier?
too many laps left in the race. I think someone has to take a gamble on it right now. So Nova, if you pit for intermediate, if you pit for the wet touch, could have won this race for all we know. It is raining heavily now, Malam. Look at the rain. Look at the track.
And
Never a boring moment in F2 is there.
yeah, I'm so thankful for rain right now. Racing Gupta and Nishan, what happened there? Nishan, I think, lost a position, and did he have a moment there? It looks. Oh, you can see it's raining quite heavily now. Shah is in the pits.
Has Shah made the big brain play?
I think he
He's going on
has.
to full wet.
I'm
He's going
pretty
on to
sure
full
he
wet.
has. He's going on the wet tires. He will be last. Well, he will not be last. He will be P16 still. He will also not be lapped. And
So let's see which of the leading pack takes a gamble right now. And also, I'd just like to point out the helmet that VFix is wearing, the Williams helmet. In
oh, Andy
tribute to, of
Kimmer.
course, as soon as I was going to say in tribute to Sir Frank Williams, who expired today, Indic Gamer goes and DNFs at that very moment. But
He
yeah,
does.
this track, it holds much more significance now because for Williams, of course, there's a little bit of history with Imola, and
Yeah.
I'd rather not talk about it, but like amazing team principle to build Williams up to what it was today. So the tribute goes out from IRL to Frank Williams and family, to Williams and
Absolutely. Arjun Arunshah stays out. No one is pitting, it seems like. Oh, Abdul is in the pits. Vintage is in the pits. Steve stays out. Sid Venkatesh in the pits. So it's Redstone. Nishan stays out, I think. Nova gets oh, Racing Gupta gets penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Nova got a 3 second out of nowhere there. I think he was trying to be in the pits as fast as possible, and he's got a time penalty process. Shah is now he has a delta to follow Nova, but so you can see 8 drivers who have not pitted, and Vintage and Abdul might be the first people who will be out on the wet tires. Let's see what Shah does. Where is Shah? Well, he's a far way behind. So
I mean, they have to pit now because the gap is such that VFix will come out in 8th position if no one pits. If he, because the thing is, if it was 11 laps, Malav, I would have understood why no one wants to pit. But with like 5 laps or so left in the race, I really don't know if staying out on the softs is a wise decision.
And you know what, Jin? Racing Gupta has pitted on the mediums, so that is the game. Absolutely.
Nova is out on full wets.
Yeah, Nova is out on full wets, but Racing Gupta is out on fresh mediums.
Oh, someone went off track.
Yeah,
oh,
that was, I think
who just went off track.
Why are they fighting Abdul and Vintage Player? I think now they're fine.
Oh, Harshi
Teams and Azun. Safety car is in this lap, and this is going to be so chaotic because there are people on the wet tires. Nubshan gets a 5 second penalty for ignoring yellow flags.
I think he might have overtaken Teeves when he spun, but the game would have asked him to give the position back.
Yeah, so that probably will go to stewards as well. So Jin, you have a busy week ahead. Let's see what Arjun Anusha is doing, because if he does not pit and it is raining significantly, Nishan and oh, what happened to Quick Killer?
Quick Killer, I think spun. I think he lost traction there.
Oh, he's fine now. Arjun Anusha is going. He is not pitting, not pitting, not pitting, not pitting. Nishan is pitting. TS is pitting. Azun stays out. Hershey, such a spread out pack.
Oh, I just realized something here. If your ABS off in interchangeable conditions, your braking is gonna take such a heavy toll right now. And VFix has overtaken Arjun Aruncha.
I just saw that.
Had a really bad exit from there. I think he might have been struggling for traction now. So can VFix pull off this interchangeable weather masterclass? Meanwhile, who is the fastest? Who is the highest full wet runner right now? I think
it's Vintage, and his gap is he's not actually increasing his gap or rather decreasing his gap to Hershey, who is on the mediums. Now he is. So this should be interesting to see what happens. Arjun Aruncha has still not given up on the fight for the lead.
Look at them. They're driving on like Racing Gupta gets another 5 second penalty. Look at the drivers though in the front. They're driving on like 70% throttle. The way it is. Look at the exits right now. It genuinely looks like 70% throttle. Has DRS been disabled though? Of that I'm not sure. And yeah, it's so gingerly they're taking this course right now. Vintage meanwhile.
Hershey's round uphill right-hander. He's done, and Vintage is just.
State Venkatesh is looking to make a move on Abdul Samad. Both are on fresh, full wets right now. VFix and Arjun Aruncha meanwhile are having a. It's like dancing on ice right now with the way. Oh, look at that! Arjun Aruncha had a snap there. Nearly had a collision because of it. This allows VFix to pull some breathing space between him and Arjun Aruncha.
They're still going on. They're still not pitting.
Vintage meanwhile has caught up by 5 seconds to Azun in one lap.
And he's been caught up by
Sid Venkatesh. Nova meanwhile is making moves, but can Nova get into a point scoring position? Remember, top 8 score points in the sprint race, so Nova does have some work to do. HUP gets past Arjun Aruncha. Arjun Aruncha just hit the wall. He just hit the wall. He's lost a lot of traction right there.
I'm pretty sure that's wing damage for him as well. He's trying to rejoin the track as safely as possible, and a lot of drivers will go through. That promotes Vintage into P5. Hershey gets a 5 second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and Vintage has absolutely caught up to Azun in one sector. He has closed down 4 seconds. Azun goes wide, and that's Vintage into P4. This is going to be such a Jensen Button masterclass. Vintage gets P3 as well. He has a 3 second time penalty, remember, but this is going to be so close. 3 laps to go. I think he has enough.
VFix is on Aqua Minerale right now. It still doesn't look like He's losing time. He's actually making up time on HVP, but Vintage is on the back of HVP. Now look at that. There's too many laps left for this situation. If HVP can battle Vintage, it has to be that.
Oh,
Otherwise,
look at him just missing corners left, right, and center. And Vintage is going to make an easy work of him. That's Vintage into P2, and 5 seconds is the gap. Oh, Azun. Oh, a lot of players losing their cars. Quick Killer lost
Quick
his
Killer
car.
lost a car.
Yeah, and Sid Venkatesh, I'm sure, will be the next person. Arjun and Shah and Azun are still battling. Azun losing more positions now to the wet tire runners. Is he going to pit? No, all of them are now committed. Vintage player takes out 1.5 seconds from
The only
VFX.
chance to pit was in the safety car period, and as I said, I always had a feeling the softs wouldn't make it through. VFX gets into a half drift there, and that has allowed Vintage to catch up by 1.2 seconds right there. And the overtake should be done on this lap with the way the things are between both of them. Arun Shah has retired from session as well.
Yeah, he just has to be careful. Vintage, he is careful and dances around the outside to take the lead of this race. 2 laps to go. I'm pretty sure he can get an advantage of more than... Oh, here goes HVP on. Here goes Redstone and HVP, and that's Redstone into P4 on those wet tires. Sid Venkatesh will be the next person, or Abdul Ahmed might also get HVP, and that is Abdul into P5. And what a topsy-turvy race this has been. What about Shah? Shah was one of the first, I think he was the first person to go onto those wet tires. So let's see how much impact he has. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Not sure who that is, but Sid Venkatesh is now catching up to VFX, who is going to lose that position, no doubt about it.
VFX is going to lose all the way up to P5 at this rate with the way it's going. Look at that, he has no traction whatsoever.
HVP and Azun were battling as well. Oh! HVP has no wing. And Shah and Noah West, look at Shah! From nowhere, Noah West has just caught up to everyone there, and Shah and Noah West might just go around the outside of Shah. No, he does not, but there's a car without a front wing there. Noah West tries his, yeah, that's HVP, and he will be pulling into the pits, I'm pretty sure. What about Noah here? Noah is into P7.
Oh, VFX, look at that, he can't brake as well on the right path. He's gonna get overtaken. I think he might finish outside the points at the current rate it's going on.
Yeah, but still 2 laps to go, 2 full laps to go, and I think the battle for P2 is also on. Sid Venkatesh is being caught up by Redstone Dub, and both of them on the same set of tires.
All Sid needs to do is get within 2.1. He just has to cut 2.1 seconds from Vintage's lead. Abdul Samad has gone past VFX.
Oh, that's
no, he hasn't exactly. He has
yeah,
now.
Now he has. Now he has, and just in a few. Well, I don't know if VFX can hold on to P5 as well, because Shah and Noah will be closing in at a rate of naught here. VFX and Azun still the stubborn drivers who are on those.
I mean, there's no point in them pitting now, because they will lose all the positions that they have. So I think he's just gambling on that no one overtakes him. But
yeah, but Shah has just, as we say that, Shah has taken out 4 seconds from VFX. This is going to be very, very close because of time penalties for Shah. VFX, remember, he still has no time penalties, so he might still finish in the points.
Oh, Shah just entered a very cool drift there on my screen. I think he missed his braking point, but then... Oh, Redstone meanwhile gets past Sid Venkatesh.
He does, and Azun getting overtaken by Nishan. Here is Sid Venkatesh.
On the inside. Sid goes all the way down the... No, he can't make the move stick. Noobshan gets another 5-second penalty for corner cutting.
And
Nova has meanwhile overtaken Shah. And
yes,
now he's behind VFX. And this lap should be an easy overtake for both of them, considering that VFX has no traction whatsoever.
So it will not happen on this straight, but I think on the next straight when VFX...
Oh, Sid Venkatesh has retired from session.
He was looking so good, and he has retired from the session. Here goes Nova, and it will be an easy move on VFX, who has chosen the inside line, so does not want to give Nova enough time to make up for the time penalties he has. But Nova now... Oh, look at Shah! Is that Shah going around the outside of
that is
Nova?
Shah.
Oh, he tries to go for it, but Nova is smart for that, and Nova still retains P4. And I think,
Teves meanwhile has caught up to VFix. This is going to be an overtake.
oh my
Malav,
god, I had
can
to
we,
get this on
can we stay
camera.
on board
Yes,
with Teves? Can we stay
yes,
on board
yes,
with Teves for
absolutely.
this?
I'm just watching the delta every minute. So once that happens, we will go on board with Teams to see when is. It's a question of when, right? Not if.
It is a question of when, because there's too much of the track left. Teves is gonna get VFix at this rate.
But it's just, oh my god, VFix, oh, he's just losing it. Vintage player will cross the line in first, but we have to stay with this battle. It could be a 1 in a million. VFX is still losing time. Handoffers, come on, teams are all rooting for you. Vintage player wins. What a win for him. Restaurant Dub will finish in P2. Abdul Samad in P3. Noah West will finish P4. And VFX, where does he break? There goes Teves round the outside. He has made the move stick. And I don't know. The legend that is Teves Cal.
Talent. The T stands for talent in Teves Cal.
And Teves has 3 seconds of time penalties. Let's see where VFX. Oh no, he doesn't have enough. So VFX will still finish ahead of him, gets the 6th place, and the frustration for VFX is absolutely paramount. Nishant finishes in P8. Hershey in P9, while he'll lose at P9 to Azun, who is absolutely all over the place. Azun and HVP, I think they are still on those tires. No, HVP has.
HVP is on fresh wets.
Yeah, so but again, just like
it's a battle of the D2 winner and runner.
Yeah, but HVP has. Oh, Azun goes wide. Azun just cannot break. Azun cannot break HVP. How many penalties he has? 5 seconds of time penalties. Does Azun have enough?
I think he does. He barely does, but
4.3, 4.4, 4.5, no, and he finishes behind. Well, it was not for points anyway, but Racing Gupta just having fun right now. But what a race! Changeable conditions once again, Jen. And
looks like at one point Arun Shah had run away with it. Then the safety car came out. Then the weather changed.
Vintage, he had a 5-6 second gap, Arun Shah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, Vintage, that was a brilliant performance of Vintage player. I'm curious to see where he started this sprint race from, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember his starting position exactly. But let's see what the game tells us, what position Vintage started from. This should be interesting.
Well, while you do that, please also.
He started P12.
Okay, P12 to P1. That has been a crazy race. Noah West still manages to get the fastest lap of the race with 28.292, and Shah getting a good result as well from P16. For the first person to, set the or put on a set of wet tires, and that surely paid off. But Jen, it's all yours to get the podium interviews started.
I don't have Vintage player. Could you add him?
Yeah, I can add Vintage. So please add the others, whoever you seem fit, and let's get this started. I'll just add Vintage here. So apologies for everyone who's watching. We will have on your streams right now. Just please bear with that. Okay, Racing Gupta is here.
Vintage is here, and the only person left is HVP.
And he is here as well.
So let's start with Vintage first and foremost. Sachin, congratulations on win.
Thank you.
Where were you before the entire chaos of the safety car happened and it started raining?
I was maybe 10th or 11th, struggling behind Abdul Samad. Once I got through him, then the race completely opened up.
So walk us through your race once the interchangeable conditions happened and you saw that people were still on softs.
Actually, I was surprised that people are still on softs because the safety car would be there for at least 2 more laps, and then it gets very wet to drive on the dry. So I think I was the first or the second one to get in the pits for the wet. And then I think when the front runners wanted to get into the wets, the safety car went off. So just luck that I won today. I was
I
somewhere
mean,
in the midfield.
you may call it luck, but it was a masterful performance, nevertheless, to pit at the right time, be in the right position, and
Yeah.
then drive your heart out from that point. Congratulations, Sachin.
Yeah.
Malav, would you like to
Actually,
ask?
this was my first Imola race ever. Like I just drove 5 laps
So,
before this.
so you're so good that you just needed one attempt to win
No,
the
it
race.
was just luck. I wasn't fast.
No. Jin, it's the campus that
In the
won him
campus,
race.
yes. Okay, Malav, would you like to ask Vintage anything?
Yeah, Vintage, how scared were you of the dry runners that they will not lose traction and, inadvertently cause a collision with you, which might ruin your race? Because I saw you making moves down around the outside of a plenty of them, especially in the first, or I don't know which sector it is, maybe the second sector, the U-turn, the long hairpin kind of a thing. But just talk us through your battles with the soft runners. How confident were you that they'll be slow, but they will also not lose their car?
So I was comfortable with all other cars except VFX. He was driving like he was on wet. I mean, he was pretty fast, and everyone else was pretty easy to get past. I mean, I didn't feel that my car was gonna pull out at the back. So whenever they went wide or inner, I could take the other line comfortably. And one car was going to lose it, but luckily I got past at the right second. Only VFX was a problem to overtake even at the U-turn. He was driving with drives like he was on wet.
All right, congratulations once again, Vintage, and very well driven race and perfectly executed plan to go on the set of wet tires and taking the race win. So congrats once again, and Jin, let's move on to the next one.
Thanks.
Yes, let's move on to HVP. I think, yeah, HVP, you finished third in the feature race. Right? Walk us through your race. It looked like a very entertaining race from start to finish. So,
Yeah, I mean, well, a really bad start from the beginning, and then I lost a couple of places on the start. Then right before I was gonna pit, I crashed out. I don't know if it was caught on.
yeah,
stream
it was
or
caught on stream.
yeah, very bad, such a disaster race. And then I thought maybe I can do well in the sprint race, and then it started raining. And it was a gamble for me whether to pit for wets or to stay on softs, because in the race strategy where they show the weather forecast, it was just a single patch of rain. It wasn't going to rain till the end of the race. So, well, Cody's suck with the weather forecast thing. I, rest of the race was a disaster anyway, so nothing to say about it.
I mean,
HP, just talk us through your battle with the likes of Quick Killer and Racing Gupta, and I think VFX was involved for a while as well.
Yeah, in the feature race, it wasn't it wasn't difficult at all. I had to wait for the tires to go off, and then maybe I can push once they pit. But that too didn't work out. Luckily, I finished on podium in the feature race, but in the sprint race where I had to go through VFX, Shan, and Racing Up, well, I lost my wing battling them, so I couldn't get past them either.
All right. Do you think you waited maybe a lap or two too long in the feature race? Because we at least felt that you could have come in a lap or two earlier. I think you started on mediums.
No, I wasn't struggling on the mediums. In fact, I was finding time, even on the lap when I was going to pit. I thought maybe I can have 3-4 laps fresher tires than Noah, and then come out behind him, maybe catch him up till the end of the race. Yeah, I only had like 34 or 35% tire wear at that time, so it was fully my mistake.
All right, but nevertheless, a very good race from you, HUP, and good luck for the rest of the season, as Manchester United are just about to score a goal, and yes, they do. But okay, let's move on to let's move on to the next driver. Yeah, Racing Gupta.
Gupta, I mean, another podium for you.
Yeah. I'm used to it now.
Used to हो गया है.
I mean, 2 F2 weekend and 2 podiums, I'll take it. That's all I have to say.
Talk us through your feature race, because it seemed like a very entertaining race from your perspective as well. So.
So yeah, got a surprise pole. Me and Vivix didn't expect we were even gonna be close to getting like P4 or P5. That was pretty much gonna be our ideal result. But we got on to the front row and we were just laughing, so we couldn't believe it, and that's why the start was so bad. From my side at least, something happened between Nova and Vivix. I'm not sure what happened exactly. But yeah, after that it was just trying to follow. I just tried to follow Nova, but Nova just ran away, so there was no point. Then Quick Killer was on soft, so he was faster than me at that point, so was able to make an overtake. Plus, I was losing my car so much out of the exits, I didn't know how to drive an F2 car at Imola. And yeah, but yeah, eventually the 5 seconds in the pit lane happened, and yeah, it was an okay race. Ended up P2, just overtook some cars at the end and got P2. It wasn't that much of a challenge for me. It was just an average race.
All right. Thank you, Gupta. We move on to the winner, who won by such a huge margin that we were just considering you should get penalties. You should be giving yourself penalties at that point. Nova, you got a brilliant start from the looks of it. So, was it easy to control the race once you were out in the lead?
Yes, it was easy enough. In clean air, it is pretty easy. In the second race, I was like really struggling. Broke my wing 2 times. Following cars is really not easy on this track. But yeah, got a good start. I think we guys went 3 wide into the first one.
Yeah,
that at least at the start or something. And I don't know what happened with VFX. I don't think I touched him, but I was just so scared of the inside curve on that chicane. Because it just spins you out if you slightly go on.
I mean, I was just saying that your start was like Verstappen's start in Imola, where he went from P3 to P1. And yeah, I mean, from that point, it was just a question of how, once we noticed the gaps, how much it was happening. We were just surprised that you pitched so early for soft tires. So can you walk us through that, your decision to pitch that early for softs in the feature race?
Yeah, it's a huge undercut if you pit on softs, and they can last for 13 laps, so that was a different issue.
So, like, did you have that plan in mind always?
More comfortable driving on the softs.
Okay.
Than on the mediums. That's all things. Because I was losing my car everywhere on the mediums. So
it didn't look like it from the Delta. That it didn't look like it from
the Delta. Imagine if he was not losing his car.
I made so many mistakes. I was just driving safely the whole race. The only lap push was the last one to get the fastest lap. Otherwise, I was just trying to control my car to not spin out.
Okay. Madhav, do you have questions for Nova?
Yeah, Nova, you are definitely carrying your team, scoring all the points this weekend and the last weekend. Anything to say about Caesar, who has DNF'd 3 times in the last 24 hours?
Very, very disappointed, but...
Is that a new record?
I'm hoping so. 3 DNFs in 24 hours. I'm pretty sure it's an IRL record.
Caesar is a man of stats, so he must know it.
So, I mean, this one he won't like to admit, but I can say with confidence that this would be definitely an IRL stat. But yeah, congratulations, Nova. Very, very... Yeah, go on.
I mean, I'm getting used to Caesar not doing anything. So
yeah, let us know how your co-op career is also going.
He didn't have a setup. I mean, that is his fault, but I'm sure he'll bounce back stronger in the next
we hope he does, and we hope that you also slow down a little bit in the next races. But yeah, congratulations once again, Noah. Very, very dominant victory in the feature race, and sprint race was also strong, especially after you put on those wet tires. But that being said, I think that's it, Jin, for the stream, or do we have anything else?
There's a shout out.
Apologies to me, please. Yeah, you guys can shout out.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna shout out what's a very special person from mine and Nova's side, as there was a UP12, Mr. Yogi Ji. Shout out to Yogi Ji.
I would also like to shout out Abdul Samad, because that's 3 guys from UP.
Oh yeah, that's right. So, 3 people from UP on the podium.
Dominating Bhaiyas.
Yes. The Bhaiyas dominated.
Any shout outs from you?
Ram Lala hum aayenge, podium wahi laenge. Basically, that's what happened.
Yogi Ji.
Sisters, be aware the Bhaiyas are coming.
that's all from our side on IRL tonight, and we'll join you next Sunday for more F2 action. We stay in the same country, different track. We go to Monza, so that should produce a different set of challenges for our drivers. And yeah, Malav, if you'd like to say anything at the end.
Yeah, different set of challenges for our drivers except Noah. But I think that's pretty much it for the stream
Another
tonight.
track,
Thank you
right?
everyone for watching. Thank you Jin for commentating, and
Hey,
congratulations
Hitesh,
to
what's up?
Podium getters once again. So that being said, take care of yourself. Good night and take care.